I'm gonna do a quick how I found out slash how I told my parents I was pregnant. Note, this is from years ago. Um, Obviously, I'm not pregnant anymore. I have a toddler, but I figured I would go ahead and do that for you guys. So, let's see. I never really linked some of my problems, symptoms with pregnancy beforehand. It was a couple weeks before I took the test, and I mean, I would have days where I'd be really sick. I'm really tired. I thought I was getting sick. I was coming down with something. It went away, so that's what I thought it was due to. A couple more weeks went by, and then I started getting really, really tired. Like, I would be on my way home from, in the car riding with somebody, and all of a sudden, just, boom, in a second, I would be exhausted and have to sleep. And that was weird to me. Um, then I started I started cramping, and I thought it was due to the fact that my period was due in a couple of days. So I didn't really pay it any mind, um, and just kind of ignored it. I was having tenderness in my breast, but again, I thought it was due to my period um, that was going to start soon. So, like I said, I ignored it. Then my period did not come, and I told my mom, "Hey, I might need to go to the doctor. I don't feel well." She's like, "Okay, well, go ahead and take a pregnancy test because that's going to be one of the first questions that they ask you." So I don't know what I thought. I didn't really expect it to come out positive, and I don't know why. Chris did. Chris did think that I was. I went to Target with my grandmother and my mom and got first response, which is the only test I really swear by because they're, 5 days before your missed period, just in case you're off on your days a little bit. So I took it, and I was so nervous. I covered up the test with a towel, the result screen, and I waited, and I would peek underneath the towel to see if it had come up yet or not. And sure enough, when I uncovered it, the results were showing up, and it was a plus and a yes. And there's no misreading that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna wait and take the second test that came in the pack the next morning to verify. So I was at Chris's house. I went ahead and texted my mom because she wanted me to text her. I told her that it came out. It came out, yes, it was positive. And she said, okay. She asked me if I wanted her to talk to my dad. I said yes because I was terrified and I didn't know how to tell them. So she called my stepmom. She told her, and the reaction was very angry. They called me, cussing at me, hollering at me, asking me if I was happy now. Stepmom told me that I better not be doing this to trap Chris, and just a bunch of negativity. And I found out the same day they did. So I was still kind of in shock, and I really didn't know what to think. Every day that they would text me, they would be griping at me, fussing at me, which I can understand they were angry, but at the same time, you gotta think that, I was going through all this stuff too. I had just found out too. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I mean, I was sick, and it was terrible to have my family attack me, and to be so scared. You know, my mom was very supportive. His mom was supportive. His family really didn't say anything negative, just was like, well, are you guys ready for this? And, you know, be prepared, and that was about it. My mom was very supportive. I mean, she brought me vitamins, she brought me pregnancy books, she tried her best to seem excited for me. She made my first doctor's appointment to confirm for me. And, yep, the next day I took the test, and of course it was positive again. The next couple weeks, still had harassment from my dad's side. And actually, that lasted for quite a bit. They didn't have much to do with me for months. We wouldn't talk, and eventually they came around. Probably my second or third trimester, they ended up coming around and accepting it. And my stepmom actually threw me a baby shower, my second baby shower. My mom and them threw my first one, so I had two. And so then it was better when I had my whole family supporting me. Well, you did it. Don't get mad at me. Don't do it then. Sorry. Sorry guys, I'm trying to occupy Stinker. Anyway, and so yeah, everything was better when I had support from both my families, and yeah, that's all I can really think about. Which my relationship with my dad and my dad's side hasn't really been the same since I started dating Chris. My camera died, so I had to go take care of that. Last I was talking, I think I was saying, my family, on my dad's side, we've never really been the same since Chris and I started dating. Because at the time he was 19 and I was 16. And my dad was not okay with me dating a 19-year-old boy. So I'm guessing he thought this would happen. And so it's gotten better after they actually met him, you know, because they had a big problem beforehand, before they met him. I mean, they didn't want to date him, they never even met him. And then they met him, and they liked him, obviously. And now my dad loves him to death, now that he's, you know, his son-in-law and everything. I mean, they called him their son-in-law before we ever even got married. So they think I'm very lucky to have been with somebody like him, because I could do way, way worse. I could have, you know, been with somebody, you know, a thug, or, you know, drugs, or, you know, Chris is a really clean-cut guy and everything. But as far as that goes, that's how all the family was told. After my first trimester, everyone was more accepting, and I had a lot of support. Not everybody does, so I consider myself pretty lucky because of that. And I think that's about it as far as how I told everybody. Telling your parents is probably the hardest thing you'll ever do. Sorry, my toddler is pulling me places. What, you want to take a bath? Huh? Is that what you want? You want to take a bath? Bath. Oh, what, you want to brush your teeth? My advice to those of you who have to tell your parents, just do it. Just get it over with, and expect them to be angry, and expect a negative reaction. You know, it's out of love that they get angry. Just try to push past it and focus on the future, and what you got to take care of, and show them that you can handle whatever it is that comes, you know, with having a baby, which it's hard, but it can be done. So, yeah, and that's my story.
Say hi. 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 Hi.
Fussy britches. Dada's not here.
Dada.
He misses his dada.